Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Broadview Public Library District's Rainbow Reads. This month's Rainbow Reads is a book by Meryl Wilsner. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It is called Something to Talk About. This is the author. And like I said, I probably pronounced her last name wrong, so forgive me. And this is the book. It's called Something to Talk About. And this is what people had to say. It says, a delicious, slow burn with the kind of Hollywood ending that will make you believe in soulmates, from the Bromance Book Club. So I am going to do a brief talking about something to talk about for this month's Rainbow Reads. So Something to Talk About is a book about Jo, who is an Asian American actress, a very famous Asian American actress, and her assistant, Emma, who is a Caucasian female. So Jo is this big time famous actress, and she is a writer, a producer, director. I can't remember exactly which one, but she's has this production company where she produces this show, and it's a really big show. It's a hit show, and Emma has been her assistant for maybe about 2 or 3 years. So the beginning of the book opens with Jo inviting Emma, or I shouldn't say inviting, Emma's her assistant. So Jo taking Emma to an award ceremony as her assistant. Jo is scheduled to write what could be equivalent to a Marvel movie next. So she's getting all this hype and all this press about being the first female to write this big time superhero character. And people are saying that, oh, she has to do the character justice. And so that's the setup in the book, that she wants to deflect from this upcoming project to write this big time superhero character, being the first woman to write, I think it's called Agent Silver or something like that. And she's taking Emma as her assistant to kind of deflect, talk about this upcoming project that she is involved in, that she will be involved in. So she takes Emma to the SAG Awards. She buys her a dress, gets her makeup done, et cetera, et cetera. And at the SAG Awards, one of the paparazzi snapped this picture of Emma and Jo kind of having a moment. I think it was Emma whispering in Jo's ear about something to talk about, and captured the looks on their faces, which later got interpreted as they were a couple. Based on that picture, it looked like they were a couple. So these pictures start to circulate, and after the SAG Awards, and everybody in Hollywood or their circle starts to believe that Jo is dating her assistant, Emma. So before this, Jo has been a very private person. I think Jo is a little bit older. She could be in her 40s, and I think Emma's in her 20s. Or something like that. There's I think it's like a 17-year age difference, or maybe not even that much, but there's an age gap. And Jo is older than Emma. So prior to this, Jo has been very private about her private life. Like, she doesn't talk about her private life in the public. There's never been any kind of official information released about her private life, only that she doesn't talk about her private life. So when this image comes out of the Joe refuses to comment on it. She doesn't have anything to say. She's like, I've never talked about my private life, who I was dating, who I was seeing. Joe happens to be single. Emma happens to be single, but Joe's never, publicly come out and confirm or denied anything about her private life. It's something that's off limits for the public. So her publicist is telling her, oh, you need to get ahead of this. You need to make a statement. And Joe refuses to. She's like, I'm not going to start now to talk about my private life when I haven't done it in all these years. So Joe kind of just lets it be. So all these rumors start to circulate about Emma and Joe. And on the other side, Emma is not used to being in the spotlight or in any kind of light. And she's suddenly bombarded with people outside of her apartment, following her and trying to get a statement from her and trying to get her to confirm something. And she's kind of overwhelmed by it until she talks to Joe and they kind of get a handle on it. And Joe's strategy is to just let the rumors dissipate. Like, everything goes away. There'll be another story that the press will be hot on, and this will go away. The rumors will die down, and we just have to continue to do as we've been doing. I'm working, you're my assistant, and end of story. There's nothing going on between us. And that's kind of how Joe leaves it. And I guess you get the idea that there is something. Emma had a crush on Joe. Joe pretending that she's not interested in Emma. I guess I shouldn't say pretending, or not realizing that she could be interested in Emma until very late in the book. Joe does come out to Emma at some point in the book as a lesbian, which Emma apparently didn't know. Joe assumes that Emma is straight, but Emma confirms that she's either bi, but that she does have some interest in women, which Joe didn't know. So I think from that point on, the romance, again, like I said, is kind of a slow burn. Nothing really captivating happens between them. A couple of almost kisses, a kiss in a car, an almost a sort of kiss at a wrap-up party that they don't talk about, and kind of a lot of back and forth and uncertainty on both Emma and Joe's part. So it is a very slow burn. And I don't know if it was necessarily satisfying once they got together at the end of the story. But it was definitely interesting read. I enjoyed the book. I thought it was very sweet. I thought it was, I don't know, I felt that, I don't know, I guess this could happen in real life. But I felt that some things on Joe's part, Joe's very private, so she's very closeted. Joe has a best friend that she would talk to about things, and Emma has her sister that she would talk to, and her sister, people refer to Joe as her girlfriend. Her sister's owns a bakery, and just certain things in the book, like Joe was going to Emma's nephew's or niece's baseball games because her nephew just happened to be on the same team as Emma's niece and nephew. But Joe never told Emma that she was going to the baseball games and that she was sitting with her sister and her husband. So it was a lot of like back and forth and, small things that they were keeping from each other or not being deliberate with, if that's the right word. Yeah, and one of the plot points was the rumors kept circulating, and there was a mole or a leak in their studio because some of the things that were happening between Emma and Joe were just within work. And they didn't really communicate with each other outside of work unless it was for purposes of work. Like they didn't send private messages to each other. It was always, you're my assistant. I need this, I need my morning coffee, etc. And then things were being leaked from the set, and there was a mole, and just when they thought the rumors would die down, there would be something leaked, and a new rumor would start up. And they found out, they found out who the mole was. It turned out to be one of Emma's good friends from when she was a PA assistant before she became Joe's personal assistant. So they took care of that. Emma is set to get a promotion from Joe when Joe leaves the show that they're currently working on to go make this big movie. Emma's going to be an executive producer, and Joe has tasked her with finding her replacement, the next person to be her assistant. So Emma is interviewing people, and she interviews this friend that turns out to be the mole, and he doesn't get the job, and he's upset about it. Her dream is to direct. So she meets this big time director that she has loved for a very long time. He turns out to be a jerk and kind of makes some innuendos, and Emma's not sure what to do. She kind of tells Joe, and one of the themes is the Me Too movement. They kind of touch on that in the book. Joe contacts some other actresses that possibly could have been affected or gotten harassed by this guy, and they step forward, and so that's a theme in the book. But yeah, I think overall, this is definitely, if you kind of like that, again, I keep using their word, slow burn. If you like that slow burn of a romance, because nothing really happens between them. They kiss sort of, and then they kiss deliberately in a car, and then that's that. And then they kind of work out, okay, well, you're not going to be my boss anymore, and I'm not going to be your assistant. But Joe wants to keep their relationship strictly professional. She doesn't want to make it seem like Emma is getting any kind of chances or advancement because she's sleeping with her boss. And that's what people are assuming. Those are the rumors that, she's not working her butt off to do anything. She's just sleeping her way to the top, which is not true. And Joe and Emma don't want to make it seem like that's the case. So they do everything that they can to try and dispel the rumors and keep their relationship strictly professional on the outside. But on the inside, they both have their inner turmoil. They both have their inner thoughts and emotions. And, they both start to develop feelings for each other, and, are finding a way to express those feelings so that it doesn't compromise either of their work ethics. So yeah, I think I like the characters sometimes. I liked Emma's character. I liked her character most of the time. Just some of her, internal thoughts and her actions were kind of like childish sometimes, just, being angry or not talking to Joe or so, I mean, I get when you like somebody, your emotions get the better of you sometimes, and you have to try and rein them in. Or on Joe's part, she wanted to keep it strictly professional. So she was very rigid sometimes and very kind of to the point, and, but she was, secretly she was concerned about Emma because Emma's her assistant, first of all. But I mean, Joe she was portrayed as just a very kind person. Like all of her employees liked her. She wasn't mean to people, even though she was super famous and super rich. She was very humble. She never treated anyone bad. She was never, a bitch. It says so in the book. Like she was never that. And everyone liked her. And that was the image that, she portrayed. So she cared about Emma in that sense. But I think, her emotions showed that she cared more for Emma than as just her assistant. So overall, I would definitely recommend this book. I think it's a very cute, loving novel. It's very tame. There's nothing really explicit in the book. If it's like if that's what you're looking for, then this is not the book for you. But I did like that. I like these type of books. I like the slow, and this was very slow, but I didn't mind it actually because, you know, I thought that Joe's character developed well. I don't know about Emma's character, but also a disclaimer, I have a copy of this book sitting next to me, but I also listened to this book on audio, which I thought was good. Like I was trying to find more books like this to listen to on audio because I really like listening to it as well. And I went back and read a couple of passages from the book after I had finished listening to it. So I did like this book a lot. And I felt the ending, like I said, nothing really happens to the end. They don't really get together until the end of the book. And again, it's very tame. There's nothing explicit about it. It's very sweet. And I like that. So if you are in the mood for a very sweet and thoughtful and building, like if you like the idea of watching two people fall in love or watching two people figure out a relationship or figure out their feelings, going through their emotions, and it is really a happy ending. It's a happy ending. I should also mention that it's a very happy ending for Emma and Joe. They find each other, they work out their differences, they communicate, and it's a happy ending for both of them. So if you like that type of story, then this is the book for you. So I definitely recommend something to talk about. This book is definitely going on my to read again list, or one of those books where I can pick up if I really want a sweet story. And I would definitely recommend this book. So this has been this month's Rainbow Reads, something to talk about. Next month's Rainbow Reads will be a book called Winter's Lament. I think I'm saying that right. Winter's Lament by Joyce A. Brown. And we are going to discuss this book for December Rainbow Reads. Something to Talk About is a novel. It is available for checkout here at the Broadview Public Library District. And it also has an audiobook that you can download on mediaondemand.org with your Broadview Public Library card. So if you are interested in checking out this book from the Broadview Public Library, or putting a hold on it, or using Media on Demand, please give us a call, 708-345-1325. We'll be more than happy to place a hold on this book for you. We'll be more than happy to help you download the audiobook on Media on Demand if that's something you're interested in. So thank you for tuning in to this month's Rainbow Reads, and I will see you next month. Thank you.